Hello knitters, welcome to episode 16 of the Slow Knitter podcast. Hey, sorry for the frizzy hair, but I'm in Florida and it's like 91 degrees outside and really humid. What do you do with the hair? You just let it go frizzy. You have to. It's just ridiculous. But it's so nice. We went bike riding this morning. Well, I went scooting. I'm on a stand-up scooter, and Bob is bike riding. Not me. Anyway, hi, welcome, episode 16. We're back at the beach, recording from the beach again. I'll probably be here for about, a month or so. We listed our house in Atlanta, and I don't want to be around when they're showing people our house. I'm wondering what I'm going to do with the dogs. I'm going to have to throw the dogs in the car every time. No. So we're fortunate enough to have another place to camp out. And you know, it's really lovely down here this time of year. It's hotter than hell. But you know, we have a really nice air-conditioned house. Oh, I say here in the house. Anyway, hi, this is episode 16. I have several names to the episode, but the one that I'm choosing is has to do with a grasshopper going for a ride on a car for hours to a yarn shop for hours. So the name of the episode is The Grasshopper Chronicles. I'm not kidding. Anyway, hi, I'm Rena. I'm the Slow Knitter. I'm from Atlanta. I'll just get some of my administrative stuff over with, which is you can find me on YouTube, on Instagram, and I have a Facebook page all called the Slow Knitter. And I'm on Ravelry as Rena Lydia. I have a Ravelry group called the Slow Knitter Podcast Group. Stop by and say hello. And I'm not running any cows or anything. I haven't really gotten off the ground with those yet, but I will. I promise I will. Right now, that's where all my show notes will be. So show notes for this episode and previous episodes can be found in the Ravelry group called the Slow Knitter Podcast. So let me tell you about this grasshopper. So we were visiting friends up in the North Georgia mountains, which are beautiful, by the way, if you haven't been there. Gorgeous. And our friends have a house on Lake Seed, which is near Lake Burton and Lake Raven, and so it's the north. I think it's just directly north, and it borders North Carolina, South Carolina, mostly North Carolina. So anyway, so I was there with my friend Michelle, who is a knitter, and her friend Nancy, and Nancy's husband Gene own this beautiful house right on Lake Seed. It's a gorgeous house. And I think I posted some pictures of it. It was really a wonderful thing. So, of course, Michelle and I have to go on an outing. So we went to the cutest, most wonderful knitting store, one of the top ones for me, which is called Silver Threads and Golden Needles. Can you see that? This is one of their flyers they have in the store. It's located in Franklin, North Carolina, which is about an hour north of where Jean and Nancy have their house on Lake Seed. Spinning, weaving, yarns, beautiful yarns. Virginia, one of the owners, is a dyer, so I bought one of her merino cashmere nylon blends. Beautiful. I'll show it to you next time when I'm back in Atlanta, because I couldn't bring everything. I brought a lot of things, but not everything. Anyway, what a great store. I could have stayed there like for hours. In fact, we were sitting there and we wanted to buy Nancy something because she was such a gracious hostess that we ended up buying like a little tea towel that was actually woven by one of the customers at Silver Threads and Golden Needles. I think her name was Jean. We gave it to Nancy. She was thrilled. She said, I'm not using this. I'm using this just for bread or something really pretty. It was beautiful. And really, really fine yarns there. Really, if you're in the North Georgia mountains and find yourself near Franklin, North Carolina, do stop by Silver Threads and Golden Needles. It is fantastic shop. I loved it. And so, hi ladies, I'm going to let you know that I told you that I would mention you on my podcast, and I want to let you know that I did. And I will be back. I will make a trip up there just to see those folks. They're warm, great, wonderful, wonderful folks. And I also think I bought a skein of Dreams yarn as well. I can't control myself. Every time I go into a yarn store, I have to buy something. Isn't it polite to buy something in a yarn store? No, not always. Well, anyway, so do check them out if you can. And they're trusted associate. I'm looking at my notes because I wanted to make sure I told you everything. Laura, I think that's her name. She helped us. She wound our yarn for us. She just was pretty great. I'm seeing through like a spot on my glasses, so I'm gonna take off my glasses and I'll be right back when the spot is gone. Oh, that's much better. I can see myself. Anyway, so it was the last month. Well, actually 2 weeks and change since I podcast last. We listed the house for sale. We had visitors, good friends from California come stay with us for a few days. They're moving as well to Chicago because both their girls are in Chicago. So they're moving from Manhattan Beach in California, where they've lived forever, to Chicago to be near their daughters, which I don't blame them one bit. I would too. Those girls are pretty wonderful. And then, we had a day rest, and then we went up to the mountains. And then we came to the beach. Exhausting. We're exhausted. We're just taking this week to recover from our social activities. Anyway, so I wanted to make sure that I wrote everything down that I was going to tell you. So, grasshopper. So, Michelle and I decided we're going to go to Silver Threads and Golden Needles from Nancy and Jean's lake house. And we got in the car, and I noticed, as we were pulling out of the driveway, I noticed that there was a grasshopper on the right-hand rear view mirror. And I thought, in fact, I'll post a picture of it. I thought, oh, look, the grasshopper there. Nah. So we talked about it. Well, we were driving, about 45 minutes. I said, I can't believe this, but that grasshopper is still there. I mean, we were going like 50, 60 miles an hour. It wasn't like we were like crawling along. We were moving, and that grasshopper was holding on for dear life. Anyway, so we get to Franklin, we park, we go into the yarn store, we, spend about an hour in the yarn store, come back out, get in the car, close the car, start driving, and I look, holy crap, that grasshopper's still here. Sure enough, he stayed with us all the way back to Jean and Nancy's house an hour later. Stayed, and we stopped. We had to stop at the grocery store to pick up something for dinner, but he stayed with us the whole time. I think he had so that's why I'm calling this Grasshopper Chronicles. And we're at the beach. I don't know, I'll put some title in. Something to do with grasshoppers and being at the beach. And frizzy hair. Anyway, I told you I'd wear my earrings that Ellen bought me. That gal on Etsy, her last name is Houston. What's her first name? Maura Houston. That Ellen got from Maura Houston on Etsy. I think kind of cool. I think I love that. So that's those my earrings. I'm also going to insert. Remember, I talked about Ellen's mom who owned a yarn shop, and I'm going to insert a picture of her back from I want to say it was the 80s or late 70s, where she's standing in her yarn shop on the phone. Norma, we love her. Rest in peace. Her shop was in Darien, Connecticut. I think I said it was somewhere else, but it was Darien. And it was called the Handcraft Shop. So it's around 1980, she said, the picture. So I just wanted to share a picture, Norma, with you. Okay. One last piece of housekeeping was, remember I told you about knit stores? I sort of went off on knit stores too, a little bit cray-cray. Shelley Brander saw this. She's the owner of Loops, and she's one of the conceptual people behind this whole effort. She actually sent me a note and said, if anybody wants to, go to knitstars.com and you can put your name on a wait list for the next registration period. Okay, there, I did it. So do that, because, don't let me go off on that again. I'm just crazy for it. Okay, moving on. Well, it seems that this, I guess in between this episode and last episode, I was a little yarn shop crazy. First of all, I went to Silver Threads and Golden Needles in Franklin, North Carolina, and then I went with my friend Teresa, who you've heard me talk about also, another knitting friend of mine. We went up to the whole 9 yards in Woodstock, Georgia, where I had been before with Michelle, because Teresa was starting a Find Your Fade shawl, and she was conflicted about, she felt like she needed more hedgehog, and since Eat Sleep Knit, which is our preferred yarn shop, was moving and was closed for that period, she said, so let's go up to the whole 9 yards. I was so glad I did, because we helped Teresa. The gal who was there, Gabby, who is Nitty Gritty on Instagram, she's so great. She was helping Teresa. She is a just proficient, beautiful knitter. I mean, she's made a lot of Street and West stuff. She's made a lot of Hohe stuff. She's a beautiful knitter. But anyway, her name is Gabby. She's Nitty Gritty on Instagram. And hi, Gabby. Love you. I love that store. That store is just beyond fabulous. So it's really great that, and there's a lot of similarities between the whole 9 yards and the shop in Franklin, in that they teach spinning and they teach weaving, and so it's more than just a place to go for yarn. It's really a place to learn different things. So it really, thumbs up on both those LYSs. Thumbs up. Anyway, you know what? There were so many things I didn't bring from home. I should have brought them, because I made notes to show you them. But she showed me a TSA approved, it's called Knit Kit, and it's TSA approved. It's got like little scissors in it. It's got crochet. It's like this big. Have you heard of it? It's so great. It's when I podcast next time from Atlanta, I'll show you it, or I'll find it and I'll insert a picture. In case, maybe I can insert a picture. But anyway, it's like this big, and it's a plastic thing, and it's got everything you need. It's got a tape measure in it. It's got everything you need, and apparently it's TSA approved. Have any of you heard of this? If so, put a little comment below and let me know. Oh, and I bought another measuring tape bracelet, because now I have one in this color. I have one in the dark color and this color. And this one is pretty comfortable. It's from I Love Handles. Does it? So great. Very good. All right. I have an FO. I posted it, and I'll insert pictures here. I didn't want to bring it here because it's 91 degrees here. What am I bringing it? No. So I'll insert pictures, which I took and I posted, but I'll go ahead and insert it. I finished my Fairy Hill shawl by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade, which was her first shawl in the Shawl Society 2 that she put out. And I did a small size because, I have tendinitis issues and can't, well, whatever. Anyway, it came out really beautiful. I did it in Madeline Tosh Twist Light in the Fallen Cloud colorway. So it's sort of like a grayish blue. It's got some cream that runs through it. It's beautiful, and it blocked out beautifully. Although I did have to wake up in the middle of the night because I realized that one of my blocking things was wrong. In the middle of the night, I woke up. Does that happen to you? Where you wake up and you go, oh, I gotta go fix it. I'm like stumbling around. I'm fixing it. It came out better than I expected. I'm thrilled with it. I was going to give it away for a present, but I'm not. I'm going to keep it. There's a big lace section for me. That was a little bit challenging, but it came out beautifully. It blocked out so beautiful. And I'm really, really proud of that. So I'll show it to you. I'll show you some pictures, and then I'll wear it next time I'm in Atlanta. So that's it. So, which is a good segue into a whip that I have. Ew, I knocked down something. Yeah. Something. This is one of the second bedrooms in the house. I can't find a good place to podcast from in this house. I will. Oh, I grabbed the wrong thing. Well, I'll grab the other thing. So, no, I didn't. Here it is. Hold on, I'm bending. Yeah. I'm going into whips now because the only FO I have, this one I'll put a picture in, is the Fairy Hill shawl. But the next shawl in her, next shawl that I'm knitting, not number 2 in Shawl Society, I think this is number 3 in Shawl Society, is called the Vila wrap, V-I-L-A. And I'll show you a picture of it. It's gorgeous. I'm not kidding. It's freaking beautiful. I would show you if I actually had it, but I don't. I'll post a picture of it. It's a chevron. It's a long wrap similar to Hoagie's in shape, similar to Starting Point. And I just started it. So you can see it's chevron-ish shape. And the whole thing is, first of all, loving this knit. Loving this. So this will go on. I am using, again, because I so enjoyed working on it, this Twist Light from Madelinetosh. I just love working on it, that I got it in this, it's not white, it's called something, but it's not white. And I'm using Madelinetosh, the Twist Light, for the light color. Grabbing the just a minute. Also using for this gray. Can you believe it? I'm like adult today. Hold on, I'm getting it. It's actually Malabrigo Finito in the Paloma colorway. And I am a big fan of Finito. No, see, I have it upside down again. It's Paloma is the colorway. And it is this sort of bluish gray. I love it. I love it. And the Madelinetosh I got for the white part is Antler. Okay. Antler is the colorway of this white. So it's not white, it's sort of a gray white. So it goes really well with this Paloma, which has been sitting in my stash for a while, and I've been trying to figure out what am I going to use it for. So this pattern starts out with this sort of chevron-y beginning, and then there's like a big block of lace that follows this in just whatever color you want to put in. So I'm actually going to use the color that Sheila Pinkston of Bigfoot Fiber sent me, which is called Water Lilies, as the and oh, isn't that gorgeous, as the color that is going to pop as part of this. So this will go on. I think this should go on, I think, like this much more. And then you have this, which is my pop of color. And then it goes back to this again, and then back to this. So it's pretty long. Oh, it's good. And it's such a great knit. It's very easy to memorize. It's really a great knit. I'm in love. So this will be my second, well, no, let's not talk about the one that I failed at. But this is the second one, so I hope to finish this. Not a lot of lace in it. There's a big lace section, but this is pretty straightforward. The chevron-y section is pretty straightforward and a really enjoyable knit. So, yay! Yay for that. Dropping everything on the floor. I'll pick everything up. All right, let me tell you where I am on my socks. So remember, I have two socks. One that is, I just put in the placeholder for the Afterthought heel on Mina Phillips Knitting Expat, her Times Square sock. So I think I showed you it when I had just started. I'm using Lolo Did It, Dowager Countess colorway. Here's my Afterthought heel placeholder. I don't know if you can see that. In the yellow. Anyway, and it's sort of fake cable pattern. Took me a while to get used to it, but I love doing it. And this is a O-Loops, Lydia from O-Loops little mini. And don't forget, on this one I'm going to do contrasting heel that's different from that pink. This is the other one. Again, I'll remind my viewer friends, if you're new, you don't know this, but I do my socks tandem. I'm dropping everything here. Tandem. So this green on the bottom, which is another Lolo Did It single, little mini skein, is going to be the heel on this one, and this pink is going to be the heel on this one. Fun! It's going to be fun. So that, I think, so I'm just going to motor along, finish that, and then put the heels in when I finish, when I get up to the cuffs. So that's fun. That's good. So that's the Afterthought heel. Now, usually I follow Susan B. Anderson's where I put 3 stockinette rows as placeholder. And I think Kirby Werby or some others, and some of them you don't even put a placeholder yarn. I do. I'm not that brave yet. I tried one row. Oh. Instead of 3, I'm going to try 1. So on one sock I did 1 row, on the other sock I did 3. We'll see. We shall see. Now, remember my sock blank sock? That's come a really long way. Yikes. Look how beautiful that came out. That's really, I'm about an inch away from putting in the heel on this one. And this one, I'm going to try just the standard heel, no gusset thing. I'm going to try the Flegel heel. My friend Yolanda from Happy Knits, this is the sock blank. Remember, stock blank is a rectangular yarn that's done on a knitting machine and sent to dyers, and then dyers usually will stencil some dye on it or paint on it or something. This is from Gail's Arts, Gail Evans of Gail's Arts, and this is how this is knitting up. Do you love it? I do. I'm like a big sock blank fan now. It's going to be interesting. I've seen the Flegel heel. Yolanda has a video on 2 at a time toe up with Flegel heel. I've watched that about 25 times. And I'm confident enough, a little bit more confident than I was before in actually doing the heel now. So I'm going to try Flegel on this because there's no pattern on it. It's just a plain vanilla sock. And I don't know if you could do Flegel with a pattern sock. I don't know. But I'm going to do it on this and try it, which is the short row. Anyway, I feel more confident that I might be able to do it. Fingers crossed. And that's all. I mean, I'm still working on my Hohi starting point shawl. I'm almost finished with the second triangle up to through what was clue 2. So anyway, so I'm just working on that. I brought like 4 or 5 projects, but the one that's bigger and the one that's little, I'm trying to get bigger, is one of the projects I brought. I bought this Helen Stewart shawl, the socks. I think that's it. That's enough to keep me busy. I can always stop by the Justin Yarn Shop if I want to. No, I am not doing that. Okay. All right, let me look and what else I'm working on. And thanks very much for all your kind likes for my posting of that New York Times article on the health benefits of knitting, which I thought was such a good article. I have a link to that article on my Facebook page and some other place. Anyway, New York Times, they have a Well newsletter. It's called Well. It's for healthy living kind of thing. And this was actually posted in that newsletter from a year ago when Jane Brody, who's one of their famous reporters, actually talked about her experience with knitting. But what's interesting to me, and I keep telling people this, and people are like, what? Is statistically, I have to read it to you. The Craft Council reports that 1/3 of women ages 25 to 35 now knit or crochet. We knew that. We knew that because all of our compadres they seem young-ish to me. But if you just talk to your average person about knitting, they glaze over, they think it's grandma's knitting, until they see something, they go, you made that? What? So, yeah. But there's a lot of meditative properties that knitting brings those people. And in this article, they talk about people that have faced tragedy and they start knitting. And we have, among our own community, we have that, where knitting really just brings them down and just lowers the stress level because it just focuses very meditative. So the whole article was about citing people that have run into tragedies that turn to knitting and really find peace. It's a great article. So if you can find it, it's in the New York Times Well section, and it's called The Health Benefits of Knitting. Yay! Anyway, I think this is going to be a short one. My friend Carol will be so proud of me that this is a short one, only because I'm going to post some pictures. You'll see some pictures that I'm posting. Only because I don't really have a lot that I'm working on right now. We're just trying to like calm down. Chatter section, if you want to turn us off, you can. Chatter section now. You know, when you go through your house and you downsize and you get it ready for sale, it took us like 2.5 months. We were talking about that earlier. It took us 2.5 months. We have to go through everything. I didn't think we were pack rats, but I think we sort of are. Well, not now. But everything's been, they're going to have the real estate agents come by in our area. It's called Caravan Agent Open House. That's Tuesday. This is Saturday, August 28th. Saturday, August 28th. No, August. You lose your mind at the beach. You lose your mind when you've lost your mind. No, it's July 28th, and the open house is Tuesday. The Caravan agents are going to come by on Tuesday, August 1st. We don't know. We'll see. We're going to stay here probably through Labor Day, and then I'm going to the Georgia Fiber Festival, where my friend Karen from SSK Yarners is, I don't know if she's organizing it, but she's requested that there be a podcaster meetup there, and I think it's September 7th through 9th in Columbus, Georgia, which just happens to be on the way home from the beach. Might have to do a little detour. So I'm planning on going there or coming home a little earlier and then headed down there with my girlfriends, my knitting girlfriends. So we're going to go down there and check out that. I was hoping to go to the one in Asheville, North Carolina, but I don't know where I'm going to be. If I'm in Atlanta or if I'm here at the beach. I don't know. This house thing, it's just all depends on that. But anyway, so I think that's it. I've been cooking a lot of fish, which I always do down here, and really just chilling. I mean, it's really great to get away from all that crap that we have to do for the house. I mean, the house it's as good as it's going to get. It looks great. It's listed, and fingers crossed that something happens in the next several months. We don't know. People say, well, where are you going to go? You don't know. I didn't know. You're not moving to the beach. No, not moving to the beach. Why I love the beach so much is because we don't live here full time. Really, I'm serious. Listen, my family and friends, my family's in New York, but my friends who are my family in Atlanta are in Atlanta. They're not here. And my medical care, because I have MS, for those of you who know that, is really in Atlanta. So there's really no MS care here. So anyway, no. Where in Atlanta? We don't know. We know we don't want a huge house. So we don't know. We're just going to take our time. We had a big conversation with the people up at the lake last weekend, and they were like, well, just rent for a while. You know, go to like different cities and rent for a while. I would, but I have 2 baby doggies. You can't rent anywhere you want with 2 doggies. Anyway, we don't know. We don't know how long the house is going to take to sell. No idea. So, but it's an experiment. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, I'm not suffering too much, except that it's hard to go outside. Too hot. Okay, I'll post some pictures of my finished object, the shawl that I finished. I'll post some pictures of the grasshopper who was on the side view window of the car. I want to say for like 3.5 hours. Never moved. And he kept shifting himself to be more comfortable. I don't know. We were calling him Jermaine the grasshopper. I don't know what we were calling him. We kept thinking, is he dead? No. He kept moving around. He kept like going low and we get fast and going sitting up. It's an odd little grasshopper. And then there was a debate whether it was cicada or a grasshopper. No, it was a grasshopper. And then I think that's it. Yeah. So a lot of yarn store visits, great yarn stores, great people at those yarn stores, great yarn. Happy to be at the beach. Miss my lovely Atlanta buddies, but we need to be away from Atlanta and away from that house for everything. Every time we'd look at something like, oh, we got to fix that. Oh, we got to move that down. Oh, we're gone now. We're gone. We're at the beach. It's been sort of warm and it's actually been a sort of lousy day. Even though we went bike riding and scootering this morning, weather's like it's about to storm. So we've been getting a lot of wet weather here, as I'm sure a lot of people have had very stormy, very hot weather across our country over this last couple of weeks. Anyway, hey, I love you. I'm going to visit my Destin Yarn Shop, and I'll check in with you in a couple of weeks. Thanks for stopping by. This is a short one, but wanted to catch up. All right, love you. Bye. I'm turning you off to my remote.